Well, I mean, it was a long process. So my first year on the team was an Olympic year. So we moved to Calgary the 1st of September, and they picked the team mid-December, right? So that's a long tryout. And so you're just going through the grind every day. And as a rookie, the signs were starting to indicate that I'd make the team. But when you're a rookie, you really don't want to ever, you know, count your chickens before they're hatched. And so, and, I'll never forget it because they wanted to make sure that it was done in a way that wasn't too hard on us. So they brought us in to the rink, and you had individual meeting times. Didn't want anyone crossing because obviously if you got cut, you didn't really want to see anyone. And they bring you into the dressing room and they make you wait, and they take you upstairs to another room and they make you wait, and then they tell you it's your time to go in, and then you had to walk into the boardroom. The National Film Board was filming us through the whole process. So there were all these cameras lined up down the length of the boardroom, and the coach is standing at the very far end. So this was and you walk in and you're like, I can't even tell you what that anxiety and that stress does to your body. Like it's crazy. But I remember walking into that room, and it was our assistant coach at the time, Ray Bennett, was at the far end, and he just smiled, and I'm like, oh thank God. So I don't even know if it's an excitement. It's just such a relief, because you go to bed the night before and you can't sleep, and you wake up that day and you can't eat, and you can't, you just can't function. And then the whole process that it takes some time for you to actually get to the point of excitement, right? And that might be after you actually slept, because you haven't slept in 24 hours. So it's tough, it's stressful, but it is what it is, right, for athletes.
I'm just imagining like a competition TV show, and it's like the music is going while you're walking down that hallway, and the heartbeat's going. I mean, I'd probably be the same way. I'd be like freaking out. And then I think you kind of mentioned where the coach was smiling, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of pressure. Not pressure, but like anxiety for just like this a huge accomplishment for you.
Yeah, it was a lot. And especially, again, you're a rookie, you have no idea what to expect. And looking back now, the funny thing was the head coach wasn't in the room when I had my meeting. So that in and of itself, when I walked in and saw no head coach, I should have been like, yes, because the head coach does all the cuts. They get all the hard work. So when I saw that there was just an assistant coach, I should have, looking back, as a veteran, I'd go, oh, I've made the team. But you don't know that as a rookie, right? So yeah, it was a tough day. And of course, like I said, the National Film Board was filming it, and they built it into this little sort of movie called The Game of Her Life. And they had highlighted one of my good friends who was also a rookie at the time as well, Jen Botterill. And when they said congratulations to her, she just broke down in tears. And that's sort of right. And that's the relief. It's not like you won the lottery, right? It's just a different feeling initially. I mean, certainly different for the veterans and the ones that knew they were going to make the team. And each year is different, right? I had a couple years in there, some years in there where when they called and said you made the team or whatever, I'm like, yeah, I was pretty sure, right? Right. It wasn't, but then there's other years where you're like, oh my God. Yeah. So